So segment 2, benefits of being a friend to yourself. So that actually has the same thing. I like to break it up into 3 parts. So the benefits of being a friend to yourself, number 1 off the bat is your mental health. Mental health, especially now post, that thing. post post 19. Okay, we'll put it like that. Post 19. Since that, the mental health area, the mental health movements, there were so many people that have been suffering from mental health for way, 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 way longer. But unfortunately, everything was very hidden. Everything was very masked. Everything was very just moving upon your day by day by day. Just go ahead and just take the next day. Don't look at what's going on. Just like a hamster wheel kind of way of being. And mental health, after that time, became such a big focus because it gave everybody a chance to really say, I need help. I'm not doing so well. And it being okay. It was okay before, and now it's a little bit more noticeable, a little bit more spoken out loud. And that is the reason as to why wellness coaches have become so popular, after this, because a lot of people have gotten sick, and from the sickness, people go to the doctors, of course, they get their diagnostics, and then after that, they're kind of just left to figure it out, and a lot of the times we just need a helping hand. We need a friend. We need someone who we can turn to, who we could text, who we could be like, hey, I'm not okay. I need to talk about this, or let's grab some coffee, or let's just sit and quiet. But just know that someone else is there with you has immaculate amount of benefits. And that's something that as a wellness coach is the one thing that honestly that grabbed my attention. I've been blessed to have the characteristics that God put inside of me to be someone who serves. I love to serve my community. I love to serve my family and my friends. And that's something that comes pretty natural to me. I had somebody tell me the other day that I have a very sympathetic vibe around me. And I value that. I appreciate that, because you know what? It kind of goes back into what this whole episode is all about being a friend. I wouldn't be able to be the woman that I am today, the coach that I'm becoming, if it wasn't for my own situations with my own journeys that I decided to take. So that's something that was really important to me, and that's something that is the reason as to why, or is a very big foundation as to why it is I've become a wellness coach and love to help my clients, because sometimes you just need somebody to listen. So, and then another big thing is relationship. You need to have relationships, a circle of friends for every little thing. So you may have a circle of friends that you go to concerts with. You may have a circle of friends that you go and you have coffee with. You may have a circle of friends that love the same movies that you love. You have a circle of friends that just you can speak about your faith with. There's circles of friends for everything, and you need to find your tribe, and a tribe doesn't have to be a whole group of people. A tribe could be just 2 people, honestly. It doesn't have to be that big of a size. It's just making sure that the people that are around you, that they give value, that they go ahead and they pour into your relationships, and it's an equal pour, so that you're able to, really kind of figure out life, and then that turns into resilience. So creating resilience, once you have taken the time and you have worked through your self-criticism and your self-compassion, and you have gone to a comfortable place in your life where you're like, okay, I'm deciding to change my environment. I'm changing, how I see myself. I am changing, my mental health, and I'm changing my relationships. Now it's time for you to be resilient with it. It's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to have good boundaries. I was actually reading my book today, which I will go ahead and put a link in my bio, because I definitely love, like I said, to suggest all different kind of things. So definitely, if you go ahead, if you check my bio, or you check in the show notes, I definitely will have a link to any products that I happen to mention. And of course, I am affiliated with Amazon, so if you do go and hit any of the links, it definitely will go ahead, and there will be a portion that gets applied. So I always like to put that disclaimer as well. So there's a book that I'm reading. It's called Good Boundaries and Goodbyes. Um, Really, really good book. And it really talks about how having good boundaries is healthy. Having good boundaries is needed, and if the people that you have around you choose to challenge those boundaries, then those are the people you don't need in your life, and those are the people that, you can kindly remove, because they're going to affect your mental health. They're going to affect your other relationships, and they're going to prevent you from being resilient. So that's something that, you definitely should take into account, and just be mindful. When I decided to finally do that and kind of really go through, and now we're talking even your digital friends, like friends on social media, on Pinterest and Instagram and Pinterest and TikTok and all these platforms, you even have to unfollow, and really, really find out what is your circle of friends that are going to benefit you, who are going to be able to really feed, what is needed. And now lastly, segment 3, which is practical steps to befriending yourself. So we have gone ahead and we've talked about how to get started, how to, really kind of filter through, the friends itself, about having self-compassion, working on your self-criticism, learning how to work on your mental health, of course, learning about your relationships, and then really being resilient about the people and the choices that you've made during this new era of self-care that you're at. And then lastly would be practical steps. How are you going to actually put those things into action? Because again, I understand, I've been there. It's very easy to say you want to start a new habit, but when you state it and when you actually do it, this is where grace comes into play. Because you have to give yourself some grace, because the reality is that, you've been doing something for so long, it's going to take you a little bit of time, and you're going to fall. That's okay. You're going to fall, but as long as you get yourself back up and understand that these falls are going to happen. Now, granted, you may fall, but don't use it as an excuse. You falling is just simply because the fact you're trying something new. Get yourself back up and keep moving forward. So a lot of the steps that I'm going to state are pretty obvious, but sometimes they just need to be said. So for example, going ahead and having a mindful and self-awareness. When you are choosing to not be self-critical of yourself, and you may put on a top and you say, ooh, no, no, this top looks so good on someone else. Stop yourself and say no. Give yourself a pep talk and say, you know what, I just need to find a different way of styling this shirt, and work from there, or something as simple as, just being more mindful of when other people are around you and other people are speaking, and other people make comments that kind of put you down. Be mindful of that and express to them, say, you know what, that comment you just made, that was kind of hurtful, and I really don't want that kind of language around me. believe it or not, when you make comments like that, people who say it could either really be offensive and will tell you, oh, I was just joking around. But you know what? You're setting up a good boundary. You're telling them that that joke might have been funny to you, but it's not funny to me. And if they love you, and if they're your friends, and if they respect you, they will respect that comment and they will apologize. And then what happens is that you just give yourself a nice little gold check because you are mindful of something that was around you, something that really made you feel uncomfortable or unhappy, you know. And then of course, having the self-awareness and the mindfulness it does go hand in hand together, you know, because you're aware, you know, and not only are you aware, but you're making a conscious, mindful choice to kind of nip it in the bud, right? And then the other one, of course, is seeking support. You know, this is kind of going back to your friendships. You know, give yourself a circle of friends, you know, or better yet, be your own friend. Be your own friend. You know, learn how to do things by yourself, right? This is something for me personally that was a struggle, right? Because I am not the kind of person who will take myself out to dinner. I'm not that kind of person who will go to the movies by themselves. You know, I can sit down in a coffee shop, you know, because I have people around me. But that's something that even to this day, I'm currently working on. This is something that I currently work on constantly because I need to be comfortable with being my own best friend. You know, granted, I do what they call prayer walks. I take my beautiful bulldog. Thankfully, she's nice and quiet today. And I will put in an AirPod and I will just talk. You know, I will talk out loud. You know, I will take that time and I will talk to God. I don't want to look like a weird person just talking to myself. So I put in the AirPod for me personally, even though there's nothing playing. But it allows for me to just feel comfortable, you know, and just really have that support. You know, I have been involved with my woman group with my church, that we have chats that we talk things through, you know, and sometimes I don't even have to say anything, or sometimes I'm just like, hey, this really bothered me today, or hey, you know, this is how I'm feeling, you know, or just anything like that. And I have a group of women who are non-judgmental. They will either say nothing because that's not what I just wanted to express myself, or they will say, hey, you'll get through this, or you know what, you know, you could have handled it this way, or hey, you know, why don't you try looking this up and reading this book or listening to this sermon and see what you get from it. You know, so things like that, you know, is what's needed. So seeking out support is super, super important. And then believe it or not, because I'm a wellness coach, exercise. Exercising is the most biggest thing that helps with not only befriending yourself, but it helps with your mental health, and it helps with a boatload of other things. Now, exercise, yes, it could be you going to the gym and sweating it out and doing some weights, but also exercise is taking that 10-minute walk with your dog. Exercise could be taking some yoga classes. Exercise could be being in a spinning class. Those are all things that I love, so maybe that's what it is. But, you know, or just hitting the gym and just walking on the treadmill. You know, those are things that moving your body, believe it or not, for years, I would never think that it was actually worth anything. And as I've gotten older and as I've started this journey, I realized that it really, really, really makes a difference. You know, like I said, it doesn't have to be super long. And then there's days that I really want to hit the gym and I'll go to the gym for 2 hours. Don't know how I do that sometimes, but I really do. For 2 hours, I have my pre-workout and I just go in for it. So, you know, that's something that, you know, is another big component of, you know, going ahead and just learning how to be your best friend. Just to kind of wrap up today overall, number one, I want to thank you so much. I'm so excited. This is my second episode. As I stated, I'm hoping that the camera and the lighting and those things have gotten better from the first episode. I'm excited by it. So remember, being being your own friend is an ongoing journey. You know, this is something that you will have different seasons. You know, you will have different moments. You will have times where, you know, it's going really, really good, and sometimes it's going really, really bad. But the most important thing is to have patience, you know, to just practice and practice. And then the most important thing out of everything I said is that self-compassion. Give yourself grace, guys. Give yourself grace, because like I said, it's something that you are trying to relearn, something that you're trying to figure out again. You know, these are things that are trying to be, you know, just a little bit, I don't know, just you just have to give yourself grace. It's not going to be easy, but it's not impossible. So I like to have a verse from the Bible that I use to listen to. So for example, my one that I listen to when I'm in this season, when I was in this season of my life, was Colossians 3:12, and it goes like this: Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourself with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. These are things that are easy to say, hard to do, but we cannot forget. You know, those are things that really just build you as a person. It's like an armor to know that, you know, our God wants us to do these things, you know, because he's given us the ability to be compassionate, to give kindness, to have humility, to be gentle, and then most important, to be patient. So again, guys, I'm so happy that you guys have chosen to be here. Greatly appreciate everyone's ability to kind of hang around, you know, because again, at the end of the day, you know, you're looking for friendship. You know, that's all anybody ever wants. You know, God says it clearly. We're not meant to be here alone, you know, and I just want to put it out there that we're friends now. We are friends now. So just like a good old friend, I want to enjoy a nice drink, and I hope everyone is doing well. Take care. Be well, friends.